Welcome to the Heavyweight Podcast.
The message behind saying the title of the Heavyweight Podcast is to be able to say that we can weigh in on some heavy shit. You know, what we're talking about is important from every aspect of it. It's a heavy weight. It's not just about physical weight, but the weight of things that can weigh our minds. So I think it's dope that we can have this conversation. What's good? This is episode 117 of the Heavyweight Podcast. I am Stutter McFly, back again with these three guys. Go ahead and state your name for the beautiful people out here.
I'll go by Sexy Black.
Are you sexy red as kryptonite?
Amen.
Hey, you can have her because you can have her. I'm not gonna fight you for her.
Are you bringing Sexy Black?
Ooh. Midnight.
It's your boy Mo Lethal the Grouch.
And they call me Hunter.
How are your weeks?
It was good. Long shit. Went to Phoenix, told some jokes. That was fun.
Jokes.
Jokes and jokes. Quick turnaround.
We gotta do some skits, man.
Yeah.
I want to write.
Well, let's write. Let's figure out what we want to write. And then we'll get to it.
And I'm learning. I'm learning about myself on that.
Oh, what?
I'm a good on the fly thing. Like, so if say you come up with a skeletal thing, I'll tell you I can make that shit gold.
That's why we call it fly.
Let's bounce it out. Or let's bounce it off each other. I'm with it. Because I got a little bit of a bug after that. That was fun. So that was my week.
My week was just work and preparing to see my lovely daughter put on her winter pageant for her gymnastics this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Be front row screaming. I am that parent.
Screaming like directions or like yay?
Like yay. like be proud of her. That's my baby, y'all. That will be.
Because that's two different parents. Yeah, talk more.
But I did tell my wife, I said, the sad thing is I'm going to talk to her because if she's going to have to get stronger. Because now she's getting to the part to where a lot of the moves require a strong core and more upper body strength. So she's going to have to, like, it's weird to think that you got to tell a 6-year-old, hey, you got to get in the gym.
Yeah.
But it's getting to that point. If she wants to do some of these moves. So. But she loves it, man. So if she loves it, we like it.
You love it, I like it, huh?
Man, that's it.
Can't stand that saying.
Damn. Wow.
Anyways, my week was I actually went to work and worked all week, so that was a plus.
I mean, if you love it, I like it.
Oh. I hung out with some coworkers and realized fuck those people, and it's been good.
Wow.
Damn. Like that?
Did you hang out with them outside of work?
Yeah.
And just fuck them. All right.
Yeah.
They listening.
He talking about me, nigga.
I mean, if you love it, I like it.
McFly your week, because this motherfucker on that bullshit.
Work. I got the kids their Halloween costumes. They don't know about them yet. But
what you got? What do you do?
Bumblebee and Ladybug, which is the female superhero. So it's Ladybug and Blue Beetle.
Okay. We were told about 3 weeks ago. No, 2 months ago that she is going to be Ariel for Halloween. So she's had her costume for about a good 3 months.
Oh, nice.
So
we didn't buy shit at first because we've had 3 different costume changes.
It'd be like that. But this little, I'm telling you right now, in my household, the Little Mermaid and Encanto got my daughter in a chokehold. Disney got her in a chokehold. She cannot be free.
All I hear about is Blue Beetle and Ladybug, and
That's so I'm easy.
Hey, we might actually come your way this year.
Yeah, and Rick Garcia, shout out to Rick, our coworker. His neighborhood be giving candy away
Yeah, we going out there.
Like, those big houses.
I was thinking about that the other day. Remember when we were all young and we used to go out to the neighborhoods that would try to where we heard them give up. We would go to the neighborhoods that we heard that would give away full candy bars.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never found one of those neighborhoods.
By you, Maurice, when we stayed in Mobile, that Calmia up there,
by the school,
that
right?
neighborhood, those neighborhood be giving out full, and they be like, man, nobody comes by, so they be like, you want some more? You be like, hell yeah, full size candy bars, and they would give away chips and shit like that because no one was coming by, so they be like, you want all this? Hell yeah, I'll take it.
I just remember being young.
That's because that shit is twins. Motherfuckers on
yeah. But we would do it. I didn't mind. I said we go there every year. Shit.
That's good, because like I said, when I was young, we hear those stories and we go into that neighborhood. We ain't never saw a full-size candy bar.
That's because you was a teenager. They get a full-size to the little kids. Because my daughter be getting shit, I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to rob you. Nigga, it's to the point now where she has one candy bag and then I got like two in my back pocket because this one about to get filled up. We finna hit him. We finna hit him hard. we finna come up. I'm finna open a candy shop. That's it.
They be tripping out in that neighborhood. They be like people on their golf carts and just be like the parents will ride around the golf carts and follow the kids on the golf carts as they go through the neighborhood.
I don't blame them.
I remember I think I talked about it on here. There was a black family. It was a lady. She came up. She was like, no one came because their house on the cul-de-sac, so no one goes that way on the street. So she ran up to her. She's like, you want this candy? We're trying to get rid of it. I said, fuck yeah. Like,
yeah, last Halloween, I found out I had a neighbor who I might have to stab up. That motherfucker was in his regular ass car, and then we saw police sirens, and I was like, why you got police sirens on that regular ass car? It's kind of weird, dog. Like, you ain't a cop. The car wasn't fitted like a cop car. It was some weird shit where I'm like, I'm gonna watch that for.
Oh, I had somebody do that shit to me on the freeway one time.
Yeah.
I was dipping down the freeway, and a guy, he was behind me, and I guess he wanted to go faster than I was. So he threw on some fucking lights. And it was like some clapped out truck, you know? Yeah, he threw on lights, and I'm like, hold on, that ain't no fucking cop. And then I look, and I'm like, man, fuck him. And then he's in his window going. I'm like, kiss my ass, bro. Pull me the fuck over. You know?
They want to look into that impersonating an officer shit. Yeah, that's some big. That's a lot of time.
Yeah,
I pissed the cop off a couple weeks ago though. I was tailgating him. Motherfucker was driving too damn slow.
You would do.
Let's get into it. Always, man.
Agonize.
Always. Every time we trying to catch up, man, this nigga always say some shit that's just this is good.
So, first topic: how do you deal with being underestimated in your life?
Underestimated? I don't give a fuck.
By whom?
I mean, just in life in general, like from work situations to like just growing up when you were trying to do things and people didn't think that you were capable of doing it. How did you respond?
I mean, when I was younger, I showed them niggas I was the one, but now I'm like, okay.
But what pushed you to do that? Because sometimes a lot of people
self-validation.
Because there's people that when they get underestimated, they just kind of fall by the wayside. They go, you know what? I guess they don't believe in me, so they just don't try to push through. So what gave you that kind of like that hunger or that?
Just fuck them. That's how I feel with it. Like
but that's built in.
Challenge accepted. Let's do this, and then I'll achieve. And when I achieve, then I'm done achieving. Like, don't ask me to do this shit. Like, I can, so I'm done.
You do realize that's rare, right? Like to have that quality. To be able to be like, I'm gonna push through, even though a lot of people just give up.
Just give up.
That's true.
Well, shit. Even as being black, even being as black people, we're always just underestimated in general.
Yeah.
So I mean,
no. Sometimes you're overestimated because a lot of people assume because you're black you can shoot a basketball really well.
Yeah.
Well, athletics, yeah.
They assume, athletically that we should just be like the perfect.
And I've seen you run, nigga. I don't think you was ever fast. Either you claimed you were fast before, but I don't think you.
He said you got the legs like fucking heels there.
Hunter, do you want me to run the tape?
I mean, I don't. It is what it is, you know, if he wants to live that. But, you know, and the same token is I got proof, motherfucker.
Did you fast?
Oh,
I got witnesses to the fact.
Yeah, you could pay them off. I need footage.
I ain't paying nobody off.
I need footage.
Oh, there was no footage in the 90s, bro.
There was.
We weren't trying to record.
I got 2018, 2019 footage.
You know, that was old me. But yeah, I mean, we're always underestimated one way or another, and we always got to try to prove back or fight back on that shit. You know, like I said, that's also just welcome to being the color we are.
Probably.
I would say this. I don't really care anymore. I used to care. Now, it really, there's a very select few people whose opinions of me matter to me now, and I think that once I got there, it was a freeing experience. But like in my youth, in my 20s, like, no, nigga, I'm gonna show you. In my 30s,
I get it.
Nah, I'm good.
I gotta say that's let's focus then more back on then, because I'm trying to give these motherfuckers advice for their life, not just go out on face by it. I want people to know how we got through that shit.
The hard part is like that to me comes, I think, instilled in you to push through shit. Like I think that comes from an upbringing standpoint. Like,
it comes from your parents not allowing you to quit. Yeah. So like when you do things, like when you do certain sports or things don't go your way, you know what I'm saying? I saw this video, or my wife showed me this video the other day about she had a son that played basketball, and up until this point in his life, you were on the team. So he's in junior high and he had to try out, and he didn't make the team. And he tried out for the travel ball team. He made it to the top 20, but he didn't make top 12, so he didn't make the team. And he was devastated. So she's like, at this point, what do you do? I said, as a father, what I would tell him is, hey, we finna go out here, we finna work. So next year we gonna get this results.
And man, we think about what you said a couple of pods back, where you said that things start getting fucked up with participation trophies, where everybody was getting the inclusive shit, where it's like you have to realize sometimes you're not gonna be that winner. But you have to know how to bounce back from not being that winner.
But you also got to understand, like, we live in a day and age where sports are taken seriously now at like 4 and 5. Like, you got motherfuckers that's been doing this since they barely learned how to walk. Before they could count to 10, they were dribbling the balls or playing soccer or, you know, doing whatever. Like, so like you got to understand what you're up against. And if you don't have someone in your corner saying, no, we finna do it. We finna go out here. We finna practice. We gonna work on what you need to work on. And to make it happen, then, you know, you have to have that parent in your ear or in their ear telling them to persevere, to not give up. Because if you're a parent that let your kid just give up when shit gets hard, then they're going to give up on most things in life.
You know what? I don't know how true. Oh, I guess I might be an anomaly in that, because I remember when I tried out for football when I was little, I quit. I was like, this shit ain't for me. My parents was cool with that, but I think a lot happens for me in college, because they used to bail me out a lot whenever I would like run out of money and shit and like not use my money wisely. And like one point I called them and I was like, hey, just let me fucking figure this shit out. Like, don't bail me out. Like, because I'm never going to grow up. Because I was around a bunch of kids who had like money and shit. And I'm like looking and I'm like, we ain't got it the same. I'm going to have to push through at some point. So I can't just keep going. So I think that was a realization for me, knowing that I was going to have to do this shit on my own, because I can't just rely on my folks at some point. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know what the mindset was to that. So I guess I did that before it got bad. I don't know.
Well, I will say this, Kevin. Even in my college years, like similar to you, I had a crutch. I knew that, you know, if I fucked up, I can call home. I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I always say I didn't become a real adult until that crutch wasn't there. And it's like, well, shit. Like, I guess I ain't eating the Friday. Like, or I'm finna try to finagle somebody's meal plan for the day. They try to get something. Like, so I think, but like I had the mentality, but I had the groundwork in me already to not give up. Because the one thing I was allowed to quit things, but you only quit after you tried everything. After you put in the effort. So like you wasn't gonna quit. You wasn't gonna quit mid-season. You wasn't gonna quit mid-game. No, you're gonna finish the season out. You're gonna still go to practice. You're gonna give it your all. And then if you don't want to do it next year, then we don't do it next year. But no, it wasn't like, it wasn't, no, it's hard right now, so you ain't got to do it no more. No, that shit hard, but you finna do it because it was about honoring your word and your commitment. So you got to put the effort in, because at the end, like I always say, your word is what really matters at the end of the day. So you gotta honor. If you say, hey, I want to do this, I'm gonna commit to this. So we're gonna do this at least for this season. We're gonna do this. Now, if you feel differently over the summer or over the winter, wherever, while the sport is off, that's different. We ain't got to come back here. But this season, we gonna finish it.
Yeah. I guess the way you deal with being underestimated is, it depends on who it is. You know, are you going to try to do it and prove them wrong, or are you going to just say fuck them and push on in life?
Do you mean who's doing the underestimating?
Yeah. You know, because like I said, I mean, we've all been underestimated so many times in our life that it's just, we've learned just to either blow it off or prove it. I mean, you really don't got a lot of options when it comes to that situation. You know, like we live with the stereotype that people think black people are just lazy. You know,
I can't be. I ain't gonna lie.
Can be and is you know.
Oh, I'm not lazy, but I can be.
You know,
they've been saying black people lazy since we stopped working for free. So
yeah, I was like,
Right.
you don't take lazy people and make them slaves. That's the dumbest thing I would have ever heard of.
I mean, we get underestimated in our work ethics, in our personal lives, and everywhere in the society, we get underestimated. You know, and the only way to really deal with it is just learn to say fuck you and keep on pushing, because they actually have no impact in your life if it's that way.
I'll say, when I was growing up, I remember I was in karate when I was like 6, and I remember I was in class once, in the karate class, and one of the teachers pulled like my gi and made me fall. And I remember I had to tell my dad, I was like, I didn't feel like, I felt like it was kind of personal, so he let me quit that. But after that, he made it a point to never let me quit anything again. But he knew my reasoning behind why I wanted to quit that. But he always told me pretty much not to quit anything. Like, he was like, I let you do that because of that reason, but everything until that point, I never quit. So any sport I was in, any kind of thing I wanted to be a part of, I had to just keep following, see it through. So when I got older, it just became one of those things when I was playing sports, even if I wasn't the best on the team and things weren't working out that way, I just kind of knew to stick it out. And then I feel like that trickled down to even when I got to fucking UPS and that shit with that bitch ass supervisor Gerald, where he didn't think I was going to be capable to be a driver. I used that shit as fuel. So every time that I came across somebody saying I wasn't capable of it, I used to use it as fuel. And this is just another motherfucker I need to prove wrong, regardless of who it is. It's just another nigga I need to prove wrong. So then when like I would do it, I'd be like, I don't know where the fuck you're at, but guess what? I did that shit. So I remember coming back as a driver and him seeing me and rest in peace to Ryan. I remember Ryan saying, yeah, Robinson's coming back to help us out. He made it as a driver in Rumbleland, and that look on Gerald's face was priceless. He couldn't believe I actually did something he claimed I wasn't capable of doing, but he never knew me. He never knew he never knew my work ethic as a worker. He just claimed I was too slow and too big and would never be able to do it, and I proved him wrong. And I think that was the only reason why I wanted to be a driver, because people like him. I'm like, I don't even know this motherfucker, but I'm gonna use you as motivation. And then when I went and became a feeder driver and I saw his ass again, I was like, look, motherfucker, I made it here. Didn't even want to be a driver.
And I look at it, I see it the same way, but I feel like I look at it in reverse. Whereas like you could doubt me, not believe in me, but I'm like, I'm gonna just prove myself right. So like, fuck you. Like, I hope I see you again. Hope I take the job.
That shit was sweet. Kevin, when I saw this it was random. I was like, I felt like, you know how like they always say things happen for a reason and like God puts you in certain situations. I just know I was randomly in the middle of the night in San Bernardino building, and never ever usually at San Bernardino building. I went there and he was just standing there and he looked at me, he double taked and he just stared and he couldn't believe it. I said, yes, motherfucker, it's me.
Should have touched him. He's like, hey, hold these real quick.
It's me. The same nigga you said couldn't do this shit and would never make it is now sitting in feeder making way more than you.
Which nigga?
So that was like one of them, and it just like I remember I hated working nights, but I felt like I had to be at nights in order to have the situation happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a perfect like because I remember I was tired of shit, but that shit gave me energy. Whoo.
That make you want to skirt out when you.
Yeah, like because I remember I said I hate working nights, but that shit I was like, this is perfect.
So
That being underestimated, I feel like is one of the things. Is like, yeah, it's an unfortunate thing that you have to prove yourself to anyone, but when you do it and it comes to fruition, like you did what you set out to do, and you're like, that shit felt good, and you kind of feel like it was necessary to in order to grow as a person. So like for the people that listen, and you're like, man, like how to like I'll be going through this, and I don't feel like doing this, or I'm going through this setback and this. It's like just push through. Like I get there's life can be fucked up at times, but when you actually get to the other side, you feel like all the shit you went through was for a reason or a purpose.
yeah, you gotta realize that anything worth having is gonna take time. It's gonna take effort.
And when you put the work in, it feels like it's so much more earned, and you appreciate it more than just it being handed to you.
And I think the key to all of that is you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah,
right? It starts there. Like
Right. Because sometimes
somebody
you gotta do shit. You gotta do shit just to show yourself you can do it.
yeah.
yeah.
It ain't.
And then when you
It
do
ain't about showing somebody else. Yeah.
that I'm telling you that realization, boy, that's a feeling that you can't really summon words, but when you feel it, you that high. Like I did that shit. That was me.
And even when you don't see your progress, people around you see your progress.
Yeah, and then that might give you an extra added needed thing, because sometimes you might be just going through some shit and somebody be like, man, I just saw you, I just wanted to commend you for doing this, and you're like, damn, you saw that, and you're like, you don't even realize how much I need to hear that shit right now, like, and you don't realize that your progress, has inspired others.
Because sometimes we can just be so hypercritical of ourselves, especially if you're the type of person where you're already naturally hard on yourself. Like you're not going to see the progress others see because it ain't where you want it to be. But sometimes you gotta, when you get that update from someone else, you gotta believe it.
And that segues into our next topic, coming from Kevin Wendell. Sometimes we just gotta pat ourselves on the back.
Mm-hmm. Stop and smell them.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I just right now we just gotta, as the four men that we are, can we just take the time to pat ourselves on the back? I mean, we've made it to 117 episodes.
Yeah. So, that's a long.
I thought for sure I'd swing on Kevin by now.
I still owe you 13.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say shit. I know you owe my money. I'm gonna just pull up.
To that fact that there was a saying I always liked that says, sometimes you got to toot your own horn. Because if you don't, it don't get tooted. And like you said, you have to do that. You have to give yourself credit.
Yeah.
I was gonna take it somewhere else, but let's. Yeah,
you know, my favorite is when people are you still doing your podcast? And I'm always like, yes. Yes, nigga, you seem like you thought we was not gonna be doing this though.
Are you still doing it?
That's the accomplishment. Like, there's a lot of people that can't stick through, a stick of deodorant, and we've done 117 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think people realize like the level of commitment, like especially to try to match 4 adults with full families and 3 of us with children schedules. Like this shit is it's not easy. It's not easy. So half the time Kevin being here on zombie mode because he's just got off work.
My bad.
Yeah, shout out. Like Kevin, like literally, like that's why I put that head explosion emoji. He was like, I'm already up. I said, damn, like he's already on. Like, shit, like, but like, yeah, that's a big commitment, and it takes like you said, like the schedules and things going on that we have to like accommodate for, because we're like, damn, like we have this going on that we couldn't have predicted, and like we still stuck it out. So
right, like it's like you said, even with this, we've been underestimated.
Yeah, that's why it does feel good when we're still doing this shit. Like you can say whatever, we're still doing this shit.
Yeah. And y'all niggas are really good at holding accountability, so I do appreciate that. Like,
I still think you splitting your time between here and Long Beach is.
Hey man, hey, I didn't go to Long Beach this week. I had a blue shirt on or a red shirt on. They wouldn't let me in there.
I mean, it's I think it's definitely been commitment for sure.
I'll be
Shit, just y'all like the story you was telling with coming from working for some nigga, now you're driving and flexing on him. Like that's an accomplishment in itself. Like, cause I'm sure you all know some people who are still in the same position.
Oh yeah,
at the company.
Oh yeah,
and it always floors me too because you look at them and you're like, shit, you're still doing this, like.
and
You know, I don't
no
get,
motivation to leave.
and I don't get mad at them though.
Oh,
You
no,
know?
you get mad.
Oh, I don't care enough about it. It's just one of the realizations when you come across that person, you're like, oh shit, like you're still at this position. Because I remember it hit me when I was part-time and I was like, I looked around and nobody that I was working with was like, it was like maybe like two of us left in the building. Everyone else had either became a driver or quit or, you know, got a combo job or something. And I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Being second in seniority in a building ain't the flex you think it is. You know, like I was like, nah, I need to get moved the fuck on. Like I got a family to think about. I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But when you see people and you're like, they're just like, I'm like, oh, you know, but I just know the money can't be the.
You know, my thought is I'm always like, life must be rich.
I
mean, it's so funny that we say that shit, and we honestly, it could just be the fact that they know how they're living their life and they don't need to do anything more than what they need to do.
Or they could live somewhere with 16 roommates. We never know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, no, we don't know their situation, but that's just, I don't knock people when they stay in the same position, because if you find a groove that you can wake up and come to a place every single day and do what you got to do and go,
well,
it be what it is.
I mean, I judge you a little bit. If you still part-time at UPS, you ain't got nothing going on the side, I judge you a little bit. But if you got shit going on the side and UPS is just kind of like your insurance, your guaranteed check, but you really hustling once you go off the clock, that I respect. Now I know a lot of cats that do that. Like they go in that motherfucker for 3 to 4 hours, but they got a whole side business outside here. Like this is just my
shout out to Ruben. I know a dude that literally is a driver, but he's only a driver like 1 day a week. Because his other hustle is where the money's coming in. He's gotten to the point where the supervisors ask him, "What the hell do you do on the side to be like not having to come to work?" And like he be going on vacations and shit like that. Shout out to him, and he just uses UPS for the insurance.
Hey,
yeah, hey, smart.
It's about the hustle.
Smart.
I don't knock anybody no more when it comes to what you want to do for a living or work. I mean, I won't say anything until you start complaining about your own job that you're making your choice for, you know. But if you're paying the bills and it's providing you what you need and you're happy in your home life, you know, that's all that matters.
The only thing I'm happy about when it comes to my place of employment, that it allows me to give my daughter a great life. That's why I tolerate the bullshit. And that's why I always say, if it wasn't for my daughter, I would have been fired a long time ago. Because I would have squared up a lot of these niggas. I would have squared up with a lot of these niggas. It wouldn't be I got a list. Trust me.
There's a reason why I stay off the radar now. I don't stay in the office longer than I need to.
I think I'm saying nice for
I'm just saying I got a list, and if some of y'all motherfuckers are still employed there when I retire, you might not want to come to work the day I retire, because once I'm not an official employee anymore, I will be by your car, ready to whip your ass.
With a 2-piece.
I hold grudges, nigga.
All the way to retirement?
Nigga. Hey, when you on the shit list, you always on the shit list. Ain't no bounce back.
The way I look at it is
Ernest.
It ain't no bounce back.
How many fights you been in your life?
In my life?
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Oh, you talking a whole lot of game there. All right.
How many have I lost? Ask me how many have I lost.
Okay. I said, how many fights you been in?
I've only lost 1. And that was to my wife, because I don't hit women.
I said, how many fights? It don't matter if you win or lose. It's how many you've been in.
4 or 5.
Do you watch the videos I send you, Maurice, the TBH guy?
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of you.
He does?
Have you watched the video where he talks about how he used to be a wrestler?
When the last time you seen
in high school? It was like last week, and he was talking about in the video, because he was talking about there's certain things you never, like, it's like riding a bike, there's certain things you never forget, and he said and he was talking about wrestling, and he was talking about like someone asked him advice on wrestling, and he told about his particular move to take somebody down, and it made me instantly think of you, and I was like, I don't fuck with wrestlers, right? I've watched wrestlers fuck niggas up in a heartbeat with seconds because even how he described it, because they automatically know which position to take you, like to take your feet from under you immediately. And I remember one of my teammates was talking shit to a wrestler in the quad, and that motherfucker had him within 5 seconds before he could finish his sentence. He had him on his back. He slammed him to his back within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So when Maurice says 4 or 5 times, take those 4 or 5 times and multiply them as far as there's probably a bunch of reasons that motherfuckers stayed away from trying to fight Maurice by watching him fight those 4 or 5 fights. Like,
well, in high school, after the motherfucker had to get his braces redone, nobody messed with me again.
Well, I'm saying, fucking wrestlers are, nigga, different breed. I have respect for wrestlers because they have to know certain things to get somebody down on the ground immediately.
Anybody that has cauliflower ear, don't fight them. Don't fight them.
Because that shit, I was like, nigga.
You ain't
like,
lying.
When I saw that motherfucker, the sweep where he literally had his legs, I said, God damn. Like,
it's like I tell Joseph, like I got a good 30 seconds. If I can't get you in position in 30 seconds, I'm gonna give up. You win. But if I get you in the first 30 seconds, it's a wrap. You ain't winning.
Now, my question is, how does that look? Like, how do you stop the fight after 30 seconds? You're like, I ain't got him. Hey, done.
Just ain't got me, player. Like,
no, you got it.
It's kind of like when you play basketball, you ain't played in a while, and your lungs are screaming for oxygen.
I don't even have to get to that point, Hunter. I remember when I was out of shape and I made one move and that my leg said, I said, you know what? This ain't for me. I don't even have to get winded. Once that knee goes, I said, nope, I'm good. When my knee says you don't move like that, I'm like, all right.
I will say this, Kevin, wrestling is the one sport where I played where quickness was more important than being fast.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think just because you're big, you can't be quick. Well, I can be quick. I just can't. I can't maintain. I can't maintain the quickness. But that first couple of seconds,
yeah, that's all it took.
I had somebody teach me and shit because he was big as fuck, and he's like, "Let's wrestle." I'm like, "You're gonna beat me, man. Like this is his dumbass idea." Like, no, you gotta get your legs out.
I remember I was in college, and my cousin was in high school. He had started wrestling. He was like, "Man, I can get you now, cousin." I said, "All right, nigga. Look, hey, nigga." At that time, I was like 245. I said, "Bro, I'm pushing 250, bro. You $170." I said, "I will sit on your shoulders, nigga."
That's bad. It's a bad feeling. Like that's such a bad feeling when you're just helpless. You're like, I can't do nothing. Yeah, move.
And that nigga tried to sweep me, and I just went dead weight and flopped on him, and then pushed his head in the I just laid on him. I said, I told you, this ain't what you want, man. I said, don't let the age fool you. That's the one thing about sports though. That's the one thing what's about all sports. Technique is gonna be technique. And Kobe is a prime example. You got flawless technique, you'll always be good.
And I was having a conversation with the guy that I work out with at the gym. He was like, we were talking about Kobe and Jordan, and I always get into debates with people because no one wants to. I believe Kobe was a better player than Jordan only because he learned the intricacies of being skilled. Like he was a more intelligent player. Like he knew where parts of the floor and what he had to do to have the advantage over his opponents. Like he would literally have his assistant go out and find the dead spots on the floor, so he would know where to draw the player he was defending at, so he could have a better chance of stealing the ball. Like how many players do take that time out? You know what I'm saying? Like to just be like, I'm gonna.
Have I ever said that? How Gilbert Arenas explained that, and I was like, I rock with that because he was like, all right, so Jordan, he was gifted athletically. All of that stuff, his hands were the size of how big they were. He could jump so high, do all that. Like, he's supposed to be good. Like, he's supposed to be. He's a Bugatti. Kobe, if you look at his numbers, weren't above average on his vertical and all that stuff. He was just like let's say a BMW. So the fact that you took this BMW and then kept speed with the Bugatti makes this guy a better player.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a great way to explain it.
And his footwork was top notch, but he would literally go pick the brains of people that he admired and take bits and pieces of their game and make it his. And like Jordan, though very athletic, I don't think he was doing that. Like,
nah.
And that's what I'm saying. When you 6'9" and jump out the gym at 14, you're supposed to be fucking great.
Yeah,
LeBron.
And like,
I mean, he passed what he was supposed to be. He wasn't supposed to be this.
yeah, the consistency I give LeBron credit for, because he could have been 6'9" athletic, but it doesn't mean that he would have been as
That's true.
Andrew Bynum.
Yeah, like it's consistent as he was throughout his whole career. Because at 18, what he was asked to do, that's a lot of fucking pressure.
Yeah, I think Bynum's downfall, Kevin, was ego, which is
and the fact that he already had bad knees before he was even
true.
Because he had bad knees, like his career wasn't going to be long. And they knew that, and they still drafted his ass.
I'll say Kwame.
Kwame Brown was a piece of shit.
Don't let we're gonna be on this podcast when you hear that.
That's fine. Hey,
that's fine. Bring it on.
So, Farmer Kwame.
Shit, I know Paul George got a podcast too, and I still say Paul George is trash.
Trash. I mean, he better than me, but I'm super trash. But you still trash.
He just ain't got the heart of a lion.
Let's get into it.
No, you don't.
What we got next? Because we can.
That's a nigga. We already started the podcast.
Because I'm just saying what we got next, because we can shit on basketball players the rest of the day. Because I got a list.
I'll start back up next week.
When you were at your lowest, what helped you bounce back?
My wife. Be honest, my wife. I've told this story many times. My wife gave me an ultimatum, and it made me think outside myself. It made me realize the situation I was in. And she brought me back to life.
So
that's not on some trying to be. That's on some real shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like she's the one. She hung in there like a trooper. And she wasn't even my wife then. She was just my girl.
Well, she was on her way. I feel like for me, I had a good friend circle that would let me quit, I guess. So that and like just helped me motivate myself to get up off my ass and get to getting fear of being in the streets.
With me, it's more of a mindset. I've always been that kind of person that just tomorrow's another day. It is what it is today. Tomorrow's another day, and just keep on pushing. And don't let life just knock you back.
Well, at your lowest, you could say that?
Well, yes, even at your lowest, because if you sit there and you dwell in your lowest, you're not going to get away from it.
Well, what was your lowest point?
I really don't know what my lowest point was. I can't tell you off the top of my head a low point in my life.
I would probably say sixth grade before you hit your growth spurt.
Yeah.
Oh, he made a height joke.
No, I know, but I don't pay no attention to this motherfucker because Anyways, I really can't think of a low point. I mean, I've had so many in the times that like I said, I just always come out of them. It wasn't no help from nobody. It wasn't nobody else.
What's your problem?
Again, my mindset.
How do you?
What's the mindset?
My mindset is tomorrow's another fucking day. Keep on pushing forward.
Hunter. The only reason we're saying that is because I get how Andy was saying. It's like people listen to this shit. So it's like some people want to hear how the fuck you do that. Like
details.
Right.
I want to hear the details.
Right, because like I just said, I have a different mindset.
Okay, so
I don't know.
The question is how did you get to that mindset? Like what happened that you developed that mindset?
That you started to think, tomorrow, how I approached it, like that outlook. Like what got you to that outlook? Was it like a certain time where you just realized, I just got to start looking for it tomorrow? Like what sparked that realization to decide I got to approach life?
I guess if you want to sit there and say it, it's just seeing other people fail and see them stay in it. knowing that they could get out of it if they just change their way they look at it. And seeing it over times and many times, I just realized that's what you just got to do.
So
You know, if you tell yourself you can do it, then you're more likely going to tell yourself you can do it. You know?
Yeah, so it's like the saying we said when a person says that they can't, you know, they're right, just like the person that says they can. So you if you said you can do it, then you can show you can.
You know, and just because you can't do it right then doesn't mean you can't do it later. Just because you take a fall back doesn't mean you can't come back. You know, you just always got to keep thinking there's always something better. There's going to be better, but life will smack you, rape you, and do all kinds of shit to you. But you have to get up and keep on pushing, bruh.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
You know, it's us. How many people do we know we seen fall into that trap of light, that trap of not doing nothing, and even to this day, 20 years later, they're still doing the exact same thing.
I know. You know what? It's just funny you said that because I was talking to my wife yesterday, and I was trying to break down my family tree because it's weird to her because my family got a lot of, you know, kids that were raised by grandparents, but you know, and it's a whole big mess if you don't not part of it. But we're talking about how like the genetics of certain branches, like the DNA, like the shit that passed down, like daddy was an alcoholic, and it's weird that 4 out of his 6 kids are alcoholics. Like it's a repeated struggle, but 2 of them were like, nah, I'm gonna go a different route. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, in my instance, you know, my mom was a druggie. My dad was an alcoholic. And then when I look at my brothers and sisters, we don't drink. We don't partake in drugs. We don't really drink unless some shit really going down. So I think it's weird. Like,
because I was gonna bring up your birthday.
Yeah, but I haven't drunk since then. But you know, I think it's like you said, Hunter. I think I was also mindful, even with the birthday situation. I was mindful that I'm able to identify shit like that and then make a change in behavior. And I think that I can understand what you're saying from, but I don't think a lot of people are mindful enough to make the changes when they see that things are going bad for them. I think a lot of people have that. They get stuck in a woe is me or it's only me type situation. And they can't, and they pity themselves. So in the process of pitying themselves, they can't actually move forward and actually get out of that pit.
Some people, you think it could be that there's no example of any positivity in their life too?
Yeah, it's true.
They just get stuck in that shit. Like this is just how it is for us. This is just how we live.
And then on the flip side of that, there's the people that see it, but still don't act on it. Like they see it and they try to make the excuse of, well, that I can't do that. And it's like, well, if you're looking for an excuse to not actually have to follow through with it or make the action of trying to do better, then like you're going to always find a reason not to, you know, not to be successful or not to get out of your situation you're in. So it's like they play woe is me and they never get out of woe is me, you know?
And that's it, you know? And it's like we hear their stories of people who get out of the ghetto and move on. And it's like, well, that's why. Because they saw it and they realized I can't be this way, you know, and you have to change.
Which is admirable, you know, like to be able to look at it and go, you know what, I'm seeing what's going on over there. Let me fucking not fall victim to that same situation. Like, so to have that outlook is a dope thing to have, like to be able to see it and identify it. Because a lot of people either like just like I even said, like you'll see people get out of the ghetto and be like, well, yeah, they can, but I can't. And you're like, but why can't you?
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, well, you know, it's not like he's the anomaly. He's just the one person that did. It's like, but you could be the second one. I don't know. I'm not understanding the. Oh,
you know, we all know, and we can all say the mind can do a lot of strange things to somebody. It can keep you up and it can keep you down. You know, but if you don't know how to recognize it and know that you just got to keep on pushing forward in this world of shit, you know.
But I think also it's just some people just don't have that desire to do better. You know what I'm saying? They some people they look at and they go, well, this is just life. This is what it is. And it's like, no, there's better life out there, but you gotta strive to you have to be better. And I think that's where a lot of people suffer because they realize, well, I don't want to be better. I'm comfortable here. I'm not going to be better.
Yeah.
So
and then you take on the fact that crabs in a barrel mentality too that some people have.
Yeah.
You
Try to
know,
hold you down, or you trying to do better?
I don't care what nobody says. I'm not going to purposely live in the hood just to say I'm in the hood. I'm not doing that.
you know that
I'm
right there
gonna live-
pisses me off. You know, I don't know what it is that when we get better in life that they expect us to still stay where we were at our worst. No other person does that shit. Why do they expect that from us?
That's a trip, because when you say that, I think about when I got the house and first thing people ask is, "Oh, so you stayed in Mobile, right?" And I'm like, "Nah, I moved somewhere else." And they're like, kind of give you a look like, "Oh, so what you trying to say? You're too good for this?" It's like, I'm not trying to say I'm too good for it. I just wanted a different.
That's me that.
Yeah, like
Yeah, nigga, I'm not staying here. What the fuck you talking about?
Right. You know.
if you want to live here, that's fine. But like, if I want to move on elsewhere, like, what the fuck, like.
Yeah, I hear fireworks and niggas think they're gunshots. Like I like that. I'd rather that than they be gunshots.
Oh man, last night, I don't know who they had. Like, I don't know what they're doing at the school, but it was like a full on fireworks show. And I went outside and looked. Like, is it going? Like, and I was like, this is crazy to me. But I guess it was sanctioned by the city. But yeah, like I'm not finna stay. I'm not finna stay in no hood. Just to remain. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And you know, even still, like I'm not gonna let my child go to school just to no. I'm gonna put my child in the best school possible. Whether it's a STEM school or a private school, I'm gonna do what I got to do if I have the means to. And that's not me selling out. That's me progressing my family. And I just think people need to adjust how they look at that.
And like,
fuck selling out. I don't know.
I had a spark.
Right.
The question, I remember, I had the memory that just popped up recently, was like you guys remember from a couple of years ago when my car broke down and I needed a ride, and I had that life altering, almost having a heart attack ride with Hunter, and I ended up getting a new car and all this shit. Like, and then like I eventually got out the fucking horrible fucking apartment, and I just realized like those setbacks and those things where you're like, I gotta like do better for them. Like that bounce back is like, it's like I feel like when we look at things as men, we're going through this shit, and at the time you're going through this shit, you're not thinking about the other side of it. And then when you get to the other side and you realize what you went through made you stronger, or made you realize what you're capable of. That's why I bring up those instances where we realize what we're capable of, because it shows the strength. And like, so I'm trying to do more referencing. So with people listening and they're trying to figure out what drives them or what they're capable of and stuff like that, just remember what you go through. That shit can really shape you and make you realize what you're fully capable of as a person. And
it's the responses where your characters at.
When you feel low and you feel like you're at your lowest, just like Hunter said, don't stay there.
Stay there. Tomorrow is another day. A week is another week.
And I'm gonna just say that, that's how I know you're a good guy, because you said I have to do better for them. You didn't say I have to do better for me, and that's the mentality of a great father. I'm doing this for them. It ain't about me. It's about them. It's about making sure that their life is because the way I look at it is, if my daughter's life is like just a little bit better than mine, I've done my job.
And at the end of the day, I honestly can for I when Ava was born, it stopped being about me, and then when Andreas was born, I was like, trying to go into hyperdrive. Then the Alaric, I was like, fuck, bad back. Now I got to get stronger. Like, like it's, but I was like, but at the end of the day, it is for them. Anything I'm trying to do is for them.
Shit, I had to do that with Amanda, because I was like, if I'm gonna go in this, you got a kid, man. You can't be that nigga. Like, you gotta like for real be in this.
I'm glad I can say now, fuck them kids.
Well, they grown.
That shit down.
They grown.
My kid is 6. I say it now. Fuck them kids.
I won't say all that, but I will say kids can be assholes.
I'll say it for you. Fuck them kids. I know them kids get on your nerves. But you gonna love them regardless.
Yeah.
I would say to be assholes.
You know what? Somebody I know, and I don't understand him. I work with him. I've worked with him for a while. He just moved out of apartment in Compton to another apartment in Compton. And I'm like, nigga, like you're making good money now. Like you have kids, get the fuck out.
He has an apartment in Compton. He's paying $3,700.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Well, just move farther away from there. Like you don't have to live in the city of LA.
Some people can't believe it. Some people can't leave it. Some people, the city life is different. Now, granted, we live in somewhat cities. I'm gonna fly myself in here, but it's not like in LA. You got everything you can want, and a lot of people can't get it. It's a price. It's a price that comes with that. Some people got to be by the balls. They can't live it. Now, I've never been a city type of person. I always the birds for me.
I mean, if you're staying in a certain area because of the amenities in that area, then so be what it is. But if you're staying in that area so you can still have clout over other people in that area,
ain't no clown.
I don't think he could do it. I don't know what. I think he's just used to that. Yeah, he's just used to that shit.
Yeah, because we know when you come to the IE where we live at, they're like, damn.
When you realize that 90% of the houses that were built in Los Angeles don't have central AC, you got to have that shit added. Or is it added? They got all them walls. No, it ain't for me, pimp. It ain't for me. It ain't. It's taking 30 minutes to go 3 blocks down the street. It ain't for me, pimp. It ain't for me. Mm-hmm. When it's faster to walk than drive, it ain't for me.
Yeah.
It ain't for me. That's just me.
Hell no.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I do want to commend you guys for being strong, positive role models that I can actually pick the brains of.
Thank you.
My Kobe Bryant impersonation and pick the brains of you guys and pick the things that help me be better. So
only
you teach me how not to drive, because I was like, this motherfucker be on it. Because I'm telling you, my instinct or reaction when that person almost hit you in the car when I was right behind you and you decided to speed up, I said, that is not how I would have took that at all. Like, I'm not going to speed up when I realized I almost got hit by a car. I'm like, fuck that. Like, but yeah. Anyway. Perseverance, man.
That is.
Y'all niggas reminded me of a story from earlier. I was laughing. I was talking about not quitting. I remember I went to work with my dad somewhere, and we looked at each other, and we said, "Nah, fuck this job."
That's not quitting. That's not tolerating the bullshit. That's different.
Hey, I hate the segue of it, but I'm kind of curious because I know a lot of people talk about it. What is the shortest job you ever had?
That one?
Bakers.
How long?
Just 4 hours.
2 weeks.
I think my shortest job I ever had was a Kmart.
But I guess that was.
And how long was that?
I think I worked there like a month.
Damn.
I think I was there 2 weeks, and I remember I felt bad because my friend had put me on. And he was like, man, my boy need a job. I couldn't do it. I can't do fast food.
Mm-hmm. My shortest was 2 hours.
Yeah.
He walked in, got fired the same day.
No, I walked in and realized, holy shit, you are scamming people. And the first break we had, I just got in my car and drove away.
My favorite is when they quit. Stater Brothers, that's the best shit in the world. Because he's like, I'm going to have a smoke.
You met Nee, right, Mo?
I think yeah.
He came to Kevin's house. Yeah,
the brother with the glasses.
Yeah.
That motherfucker just said, "Nah, I'll be back. I'm gonna go have a smoke real quick." There's probably
I could picture Nee doing that too.
That nigga's leaving. He's not smoking.
Well, I mean, hey, and Kevin, and our job, be honest and truthful, we have seen many people quit within hours of being where we're at.
Yeah.
I've had to do that, yeah.
Remember, some dude came in, he just got his tools, and then I was like, hey, where's homie? And they're like, yeah, shit. He ain't coming back.
That That makes me think about the football player that got hired when I was part-time, and we went on break. And like you said, he went on break and walked out, and like he never came back. You're like, what the fuck?
It ain't for me. It ain't for me.
What?
But I remember hearing him say, "Man, fuck this." I said, "Wait, what?" Like, but you're a football player, bitch. Like, he was a big buff dude. He was like, "Man, fuck this. I'm not doing this shit." Like,
I remember the only reason why I liked part-time at UPS because it was a mindless job. So I was literally studying in my head while working. I could do other shit while I was doing the job. That's why I liked it.
I used to rap all the time.
I had that warehouse. I just looked at them and they were like, "Man, it's a good job." And I was like, "Nah, dog, I can't do this."
As always, the only reason it got me through is I always said it was always better than fast food.
My thing from being at my thing with being at UPS was just the fact that I could give my family life or health insurance.
Yeah.
That was a big one. That was a big one why I stayed out for so long at that damn place. You know.
Yeah, I said it was better than fast food. I was getting burned by grease and shit. I remember when I knew I was done when I tried because they at the end of the night you would have to take the oil from the fryer and put it back in the container at the end of the night with a strainer. So, we get all they keep reusing the same oil. So you have to put that through a strainer and put it back in a container and then do the same thing every morning. But I remember I poured that shit and that shit hit my arm and burnt me. And I thought about it, I said, nigga, I ain't got no insurance. I said, I'm done with this place. Like, I was over it. And I was like, the shit you got to do, I was over that shit. But with that being said, this has been episode 117 of the Heavyweight Podcast. I am Stutter McFly. One more time, back again with these guys. Go ahead and state your names.
Sexy Black.
Why you say it like that, nigga? It's your boy Molly.
And they call me Hunter.
Like, share, subscribe, comment. If you are a woman that wants to be part of a podcast, go ahead and hit us up. DM Kevin Wendell. But no, but seriously, if you're
DM Sexy Black.
Sexy Black.
But if you're interested, seriously, message the Heavyweight Podcast either on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc. And we'll get back to you because we are trying to actively find somebody that can at least come in and chime in on occasion, and we can pick the brain to have different perspective on.
Don't be scared of Mo. Don't be scared of Mo. He ain't that bad.
He's the grouch, but he's really a nice. He's got a gentle heart, kind of.
I ain't the one you should be worried about.
Just don't get into a wrestling match. But anyway, with that being said, we appreciate you, love you, peace out.
Peace.
Later.
It's a wrap. That's all she wrote, folks. Thanks for tuning in once again. You can check us out on all streaming platforms. Click like, subscribe, leave some comments, you know what I'm saying? Is it Monday yet? Hello. Every Monday you got new episodes, so tune in. Have a blessed one.